Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome into the show. Yet another episode of Crushing Fantasy Football. I am Bryce Lockridge, your host of the show. All right, guys, really quick before we get into today's video, I just wanted to let you guys know that my top 100 rankings are going to be listed on my Patreon today. So if you wanted to go over to my Patreon and further support the channel, it's $5 a month. It's also going to allow you to get in a league with us this year, and you can win some pretty good prize money in the Patreon league if you join. Also, you're going to have access to my rankings and a whole lot of other tools, personalized videos, and everything like that. I'll answer any question for you in a personalized podcast. Anyway, we're going to get started with my list here today, guys. I have 7 players that I have been thinking about a lot in fantasy football, and these guys are about to explode. Now, what we have is players that some of them are going later, some of them are going in the middle rounds, some of them are going in the early rounds, but they're all about to go nuclear. You're going to miss out if you don't draft them. So I want to make sure that you guys are hammering these guys in drafts and drafting as many of them as possible. So I'm going to start right here with the first player on my list, and that is Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, this is a guy who's going typically late round 1, right? The draft value is insane. I would almost say that he's a steal going in late round 1. And it's funny to call a round 1 draft pick a steal, but this guy easily has the upside to be the running back 1 in all of fantasy. We know that he's running behind, by far and away, the best offensive line in the NFL. The efficiency metrics were insane last year. The eye test was insane. If you watch this guy play in college, you watch this guy play in his rookie season, he is the real deal. He's basically a more explosive Aaron Jones. This guy's going to be very good in the NFL, and he's playing in an offense that could lead the league in overall scoring. The touchdown upside's freaking insane. David Montgomery started to taper off as the season went on as far as his overall usage. They've already said that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have more of a goal line role this year. He's going to have an expanded role in general. And I think that David Montgomery is going to be a lot more of a non-factor this year. Either way, if David Montgomery is used for those runs up the middle for 2 or 3 yards just to kind of wear the defense down, don't you want that, right? I mean, we want Jahmyr Gibbs to get on the outside, get out on the edge, make plays in the passing game, give you those explosive 10, 15-yard runs on a consistent basis. If David Montgomery helps wear down the defense and gets 20 to 30% of the carries, it's probably going to help Jahmyr Gibbs' overall efficiency. I love Jahmyr Gibbs this season. He's about to go nuclear. Next player on my list is going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, obviously, we have a rookie here. We haven't seen him take a single snap in the NFL, but we know that he's one of the most talented wide receivers that has come out of the draft in a while. I mean, this dude literally could be the next Justin Jefferson. He's in a Cardinals offense with a quarterback in Kyler Murray that is exceptional at throwing the deep ball, that can run a very good offense, given an actual good wide receiver 1. I think this offense is going to be very good. I mean, we have a good running game. They drafted Trey Benson. We have Trey McBride at the tight end position. We've got a quarterback that can throw the deep ball, that can, really lead an offense to being a truly elite offense. And we have Marvin Jr., pretty much a generational talent coming out of the draft. Yes, he is being taken in the middle of round 2, sometimes early round 2, but I very think he is worth a draft pick there because he has the upside to be a top 3 or 4 wide receiver in his very first year in the NFL. If he was a top 5 wide receiver this season, I would not be all that surprised. He's going to go nuclear in his rookie year. You've got to draft this guy. Next player on my list is going to be Jonathan Taylor. Now, Jonathan Taylor is obviously playing with a more mobile quarterback than he's ever had. I think this is going to provide an advantage. If you look at all kinds of historical data in fantasy, you will see that players that are elite rushers, that are running with an elite rushing quarterback, always have significantly higher yards per carry efficiency. Now, is Anthony Richardson going to take some touchdowns away from Jonathan Taylor on the ground? Probably so, right? But this is going to be more than made up for in the fact that the offense is going to be highly efficient. A more efficient offense means more scoring opportunities. So at the end of the day, he's still going to probably end up with similar touchdown totals than if he was playing with a quarterback that just wasn't good, right? I would rather have a good quarterback that poses rushing upside, that can help Jonathan Taylor with his yards per carry efficiency, than a quarterback that just isn't good at moving the ball, right? They're going to have enough scoring opportunities to make up for the fact that Anthony Richardson steals rushing touchdowns from Jonathan Taylor. If he has 12 or 13 touchdowns this year, I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. The touchdown numbers will still probably be very good. He's going to average over 5 yards a carry. He's going to freaking explode this year. Next player on my list is going to be Isaiah Pacheco. Now, the Chiefs have not had a running back as talented as Isaiah Pacheco in really a very long time, right? And, as long as this has been a Pat Mahomes-led offense, They really haven't had a super talented running back. They finally have one in Isaiah Pacheco. This dude is a very good player. He's starting to be used a lot more in the passing game, which we like to see. We saw it late in the year 2 years ago when they made their playoff run. We saw it this past year. As the season progressed, they started to give him games where he had 6 or 7 targets out of the backfield. This is a very good sign. This is a back who is a dual threat in a very good offense and could be up there in touchdown totals this season, being in what's going to be an inevitably improved offense, adding 2 very speedy wide receivers on the outside in Marquise Brown and Xavier Worthy. I love the upside for Pacheco this season. I think he is a tremendous draft value right now. He has the upside to be a top 5 running back in the NFL. He does have that upside, especially if the touchdown totals really favor him and he's able to get in the end zone a lot. He could very well be a top 5 running back this year. And he's going as like running back 13. Massive draft value, nuclear upside. Next player on my list is going to be Dalton Kincaid. Now, we don't have a true wide receiver 1 on this team yet. Does Keon Coleman step in and become that guy? Certainly could happen. Khalil Shakir was kind of looking like he was going to be that guy before they drafted Keon Coleman. Now they have more of like a balanced wide receiver room as opposed to a top-heavy wide receiver room just led by Stephon Diggs. I think this is going to favor Dalton Kincaid tremendously. This is a dude who is going to get a lot of targets this season. I mean, this is going to be a guy that has games where he sees double-digit targets at the tight end position. We know how incredibly valuable that can be. For fantasy, right? Because, if you have a tight end that's receiving double-digit targets, that can give you huge point swings at a position that normally doesn't give you a lot of points. So I think the upside and the value for Dalton Kincaid is tremendous this year. He's going as like the 5th tight end. You could pretty much get him in round 5. I think he has the potential to be a massive steal, and he's going to absolutely explode this season. Next player on my list is going to be Josh Jacobs. Now, obviously, he's dealing with a little bit of an injury right now. I don't think it's too incredibly serious. Should be 100% by the time the season starts. Will the Packers use him as a workhorse? They wouldn't do it with Aaron Jones, but Aaron Jones is a little bit of a smaller back. They never really gave him the opportunity share he deserved, but I think they got Josh Jacobs for a reason. He's your prototypical workhorse back with a much bigger build, weighing 225 pounds. This is a guy who could see a very good workload and was probably going to be a very explosive offense. We saw it last season. They put a ton of points on the board. Now you come in and you have Josh Jacobs potentially getting 18, 19 carries a game and 3 or 4 targets out of the backfield. This dude has crazy touchdown upside. The efficiency is going to be crazy. We know how efficient Packers running backs typically are. We saw it with Aaron Jones. Josh Jacobs is a talented back himself. He's probably going to have very good yards per carry efficiency. He's probably going to absolutely explode this season. Next player on my list, final player I have here is Garrett Wilson. Now, this is a guy who we've just been waiting for him to have a legit quarterback. He finally has it in Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is already looking good, like he's recovered from his Achilles tear. By the time the season starts, he is going to be 100%. No concerns with the injury. Garrett Wilson is going to freaking explode with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. This guy needs to be one of your biggest priorities in the draft. Yeah. All right, guys, make sure to head on over to my Patreon. I'm going to put the link in the description. I'm going to have my top 100 rankings there. It's going to get you into the league. I'm going to break down everything for you in a personalized podcast. If you have any questions, if you want to win your league this year, if you want to gain a massive edge, join the Patreon. It's only $5 a month. My goal is to win you a ton of money this year in fantasy football. So if you want to support the channel and you want to gain a massive edge, click the link for the Patreon below. Get in a league with us, win some money, get some of my extra advice, and win even more money. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Catch you later.